What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Mevo Live. My name is Will, and I am joined by none other than Joseph. As always, what's up, man?
Hey, Will. How are you doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day, my friend.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're very in theme, man. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's almost we were talking. It's almost like we're in the same room. We kind of do have the exact same color wall right now, so that's pretty
It's
solid.
like, yeah, it's like we planned that or something.
It's almost like that. What's up, everybody? Um, As always, put your questions in chat. We're going to try and get to as many of them today as we can. But excitingly enough, we have a really exciting show today. We've got a show all about the multicam audio. Joseph is going to run through basically everything that you can do with the new multicam advanced audio setup. So I'm really hyped for that. It's going to be really good, especially if you have any multicam audio questions. Definitely put those in chat also. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about our setups. I know you have an incredibly complicated one today, but for myself, I'm doing something pretty simple. I've got my Mevo Start. It's using wireless webcam going into my Windows 11 PC. For audio, I've got my Encore 300 blue mic right here, and that is connected to a Go XLR Mini, which is then going back out into the Mevo Start using 3.5 millimeter TRS cable. And I've also got a couple of lighter glows on either side, which is nice. And I'm trying to think anything else. Oh man, every single time. And I've got my my UE custom fitted headphones in. So we're all set up here.
Absolutely sounds good. I gotta say, since you've moved to that E300, is it 200 or 300? That's a 300, right?
300, yeah.
Yeah. So ever since you moved to that, like your vocal quality has just been nice, crisp, clear.
Nice.
It's been a good move. So yeah, as far as my setup is concerned, everyone, we're gonna get into that. I have a lot of things that we're gonna go through, but before that, why don't we take a look at what we have coming up?
Yeah, definitely. So as I'm pulling that up, you want to say hey to some people?
Absolutely. So first off, first comment, Fred the Hippo. Thanks for
What's
saying
up,
what's up.
Fred?
Thanks for joining us every time. Fred is on YouTube. Pastor Ben is saying what's up from snowy Colorado. Ben, are you always in Colorado? I thought you were somewhere else. Are you just visiting, or is that where you're at now? That's cool. Um, Gordon, what's up, Gordon? How you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Nice.
Everyone, I see a lot of people on Twitch. I love it. Thank you for moving to Twitch. We're definitely trying to push that as well. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, there we go. Pastor Daryl from Facebook. Hey, Pastor Daryl, how you doing? What's up, guys? Nice
Nice.
background lighting in both locations. You guys are stepping up the game. We're trying.
We're
We're
trying,
trying.
yeah, always.
Yeah. And it's always important to mention, Ben says he's always been in Colorado. Okay. I thought you were somewhere else for some reason. It's important to mention that we're trying to make this look as good as it can with the products that we talk about, right? We're not doing anything outside of what we're talking about in our shows. Like I'm using a Mevo camera, obviously. We're using blue microphones. I'm smacking my microphone all around right now. Um,
We're using Melon,
cool.
of course. I feel like we should give
Melon.
Melon a plug at the beginning when we talk about our equipment because it is like the most important part, I think, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Melon has been such a huge upgrade for us, just with its capabilities to go to different destinations, with its ability to bring in things like screen sharing, which you're going to see a huge example of later, um, and just having the dialogue being for you and me to just be able to talk to each other without really any type of like hiccups or delays in between us. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
it is really cool. All right, well, we've got a lot to talk about, so let's jump into first. We'll talk about our regular weekly schedule. So we've got shows Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday is the Ask Mevo Anything show, and that's all about answering as many questions as we can in the 1 hour that we have with you. And then on Thursdays, we do a deep dive on one topic or another related to Mevo or production, and we also try and answer your questions there. And so you can check us out both days, Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And now I'm got to get used to saying 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Well, I
Um,
guess we should update that now, huh?
yeah, just yeah, just so I remember. And it's facebook.com/Mevo Camera, Twitch, and YouTube. Of course, we always recommend going to Twitch or YouTube, preferably Twitch, because you'll get better quality. And then, of course, we've got a really cool entire multicam March Madness. And this week is all about the audio mixer. Next week is going to be multicam to Streamlabs. So we're going to talk about some really cool ways to take advantage of this new multicam to wireless webcam using Streamlabs. And then on the 31st, we have a special event. So you want to talk a little bit about that? Or is it going to be kind of a secret for a little bit longer?
Well, let's keep it a secret for a little bit longer. Maybe
All right.
next week we can get more into it.
Sounds good. And then, of course, we always want to talk about our testing program. This is actually really cool, and we've worked with some of you already, but we'd love to work with more of you, where we are getting your feedback, testing new Logitech products. And these are probably products that you would be interested in when they finally get released. So by joining this testing program, you can get a early look at what these products are, and you get to give your feedback, which helps shape the product before it hits the market. So it's actually a really cool program. Cool. Lots going on.
Yeah. So just gonna jump back in chat to say hi to some people. David is saying hi from Florida. Rob
Nice.
coming at us from Maine. 52 and muddy in Maine. Yeah, I don't even know what it is out here in New York. Texas, what's up? Jay Hernan from Texas. Thanks for joining us.
Nice.
Come on, give us a hint, Pastor Ben Becker, on the special show. I will Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a good hint.
All right. Cool. Housekeeping done for now?
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet. All right. So if you watched our show last Thursday, we did a whole demonstration on how to bring multicam into webcam, right? For your the wireless webcam app, the Mevo webcam app. So now we're going to take that one step further and talk about the audio. So why don't we go ahead and pull up, let's go ahead and pull up the multicam program out feed real quick, and then I'll switch over to that. Let me mute that real quick because you probably hear two of me. Cool. So what you're seeing on the bottom here is okay. So what you're seeing on the bottom here, yeah, let's
switch that out there.
Cool. So this is the program out from my multicam, right? So the audio you're hearing from me right now is still coming from me on the bottom. That's a separate cam input. But I just wanted to show that anything that's going to be black and white today, that's where we're showing you the actual multicam. Cool. So why don't we go ahead and bring up the app, and then I'll do some switching around real quick.
And while I pull it up, I'm curious, what are your settings in terms of camera input quality and latency right now? Cool. So we're just maxing it out. We got 1080p high as the input quality. Love it. And then for latency, ultra low. Man, this is exciting. That's what I'm talking about, man. All right. So seems like you are muted. Let me unmute you real quick. There you go.
Sorry, I wanted to come through the app. Let's go ahead and mute the colored version of me.
Okay.
And let's just get that out of here.
There we go.
All right. So now, where am I? Here. Hi, everybody. So moving forward, everything you're going to hear and see from me is going to be coming through the multicam application. All right. So right now, what you're hearing is, let me just go back to my cameras here. Oops. Where am I looking?
I'm gonna make this big.
This one.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see I have a master output, which is what you see going green and red right now. And then I have my Mevo camera. So the one I'm speaking to is actually the DW6. So if you look at the Mevo names, we're looking at the last three letters on the name. So that's DW6, and that's the one you see on the program out right here. And then if I wanted to switch cameras, I have a lot of different options. Because I'm in multicam, I could pick which camera I want to use. But before we get into each different camera, let's focus on this one. Notice that I only have one audio channel activated. The other two are muted. My main output is activated. Regardless of what scene I'm looking at, you can see that the audio comes through no matter what. But let's say I didn't want to use the blue baby bottle, which is what I'm using right now. And let's say I wanted to use like the Mevo internal mics. So we're going to go ahead and switch to that real quick.
Okay.
And the way I got to this screen is by clicking the cogwheel on the channel of what I want to use, right? So this is going to switch over to the internal mics. So as you can see, I'm already using the 3.5 audio, which is what I normally use for my setup. But if I kick this over,
there we go. Now we got that.
Now what you're hearing is the Mevo internal microphones. And as you can see, I have them on the speech setting. And let me go back real quick. And I'm going to this camera right here. So now on that camera channel, I have an option. I can go with internal mics. Let's change that up. This is the general setting. A little bit, actually, it's a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, so the speech setting is more narrow, and it's trying to do a better job of getting rid of what's happening in the room. Given the distance from the microphone right now, though, I think the general setting sounds a little bit better. But if I wanted to switch right back over to that blue microphone, which is the XLR, I can click select here where it says force internal mics, turn that off. And now you can see that we've now switched over to the blue baby bottle. So that's a quick example of how you could switch between the line in and the internal mics from the actual channel that you're on. So a couple of things here. You're not limited to just the line in or the internal microphones. Sorry, it took me brain fuzz for a second. So let's hop over to the next one. Let's go to XPR. So right now on my XPR channel, I have something else going on. Let's see. Cool. So you notice on my XPR channel, if you look at the icon on the top of the on this channel here, the one that's moving up, you'll notice it has the line in symbol on the left hand side next to the name. So what that's telling us is what's coming in. So right now I'm playing this music from my iPhone, and that's going line in into the back of the Mevo.
Nice. So that's 3.5.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So anytime I'm talking line in, I'm talking 3.5 millimeter input into the back of the Mevo. Which I always lose my spare Mevo to show. It's right here. There we go.
I like that you can have both inputs active at once. So if you had, say, this music and it was just a little bit lower, then it would actually be like really good for, I don't know, something like a podcast or something like that.
Yeah, and you can affect that with the faders in the app as well. So I just dropped it, or I can also drop it on my phone.
Nice.
Just with the volume on the phone. And you can see how that affects your line inputs. So to recap what we have right now, my voice is coming through DW6, which is the channel you see, through the blue microphone coming through my interface and the way I normally set this up. But now I have an additional channel that I can use in the mix where I can play some music. So let's do one other thing with this. So if I go into, let's see what we have here. Because we didn't even get into the main audio mixer yet. All right, let me regroup. Let's go here. So if you click the plus sign on the blue plus sign, and this delay is really killing me. You'll notice that there's a new option. If you were familiar with the Multicam app before, there's a new option, right? So you have your camera selection where you can go in and actually select your cameras. You have your graphics selection, which gives you your options for your graphics, but now you have a new audio selection. And what the audio selection is going to do is going to show you which cameras are doing what. So as you can see here, all of my cameras are set up to use the 3.5 millimeter input right now. So now the reason why I did that is, let's say I want to skip over from this blue microphone and go to something else, like, let's say like a lav. Well, luckily, hold myself up here. Check one, check two. There we go. So now what you're hearing is, let me go back to my cameras. This guy, which I've actually hooked up. Oh, let me lower this music so you guys can hear me a little better.
Nice.
That's better. I'm shouting. So what I've hooked up here is a lavalier mic going to this Mevo. So now if you look, I've turned off the DW6 and I've turned on JCP, and I actually have a lav mic, which you can hear moving around, right under my shirt right there.
Nice. What is the make and model of that lav?
So this is the Rode Wireless Go.
Nice.
And what's cool about these is you can set up a line out to the Mevo from the receiver. So I can go directly from here wirelessly directly to the Mevo on the 3.5 millimeter input. So now let's talk about what we've done so far, right? We have a lav connection. We now have the XLR blue microphone connection. And we also have a fun little jam in our background music coming from the XPR, which is this Mevo here. Cool, right?
It is really cool.
So,
like,
yeah.
What's great is that this advanced audio mixer is working with wireless webcam now. You know, like it's a great feature in and of itself, but that it came with the wireless webcam edition as well just makes it even more powerful.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So now what we have here is you have one input, technically, from each Mevo. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep going. So let's go to our lav microphone, which is the JCP. You can immediately hear the difference. And let me know in the comments too, let me know what you guys think about the differences between the different mics I'm using, the different inputs, stuff like that. We'll turn that music off for a second. So from here, again, if I click the cogwheel, I can turn off this lav's input and then go back to the internal microphones as well. Okay, check 1, 2. So now what you're hearing is actually the internal microphones coming from this Mevo here. So this Mevo is a lot farther away from me than my general setup is, but it actually still picks up pretty good. And you'll notice that in the channel, the icons change, right? So you'll see it has a camera there, indicating it's the camera's audio. If I switch it back to the internal mic, you'll see that changeover as well. And now I'm back on the lavaliers.
Nice. So what I think would be really great with this is, you know, we used to get a ton of tickets with people. They were doing, you know, events where they would have multiple cameras covering different people that are on stage, like a panel or something like that. And so with this, you can have that audio from all these different sources and switch between them so easily. So depending on, you know, who's talking or what the focus is, you could just make that really easy switch.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So again, we have three cameras. At this point, we've done 4 inputs, right? We have an XLR input, we have a wireless lav, we have music coming in from a line in, and we have internal microphones, right? Let's take it one step further.
Yes, please. You always got to max it out. I love it. It's the best way to do it.
Let me kick back over to my, this is the blue baby bottle. Okay, so back into my audio settings. Let me see if I can remember this. Yes, so it's only giving me a couple options here. You'll notice that there's a 4th option, right? The 4th option on the bottom, actually a 4th and 5th option, is the Samsung SMT870. That's the Galaxy tablet that I'm using for the Mevo. So if I want to enable that as a source and use the tablet, which I know has been very, very requested, right?
Yeah.
Let's turn that on. And you'll notice that now I have a brand new channel. So it's not taking the place of any of my cameras, and it can be mixed in along with my cameras. So again, if I want to have that music going, click play here. Perfect. And I wanted to switch over to the device audio that is running the Multicam application. Okay. And right away, you're going to notice a difference in audio quality.
Yeah, so this is the tablet's internal microphones.
Correct. Yep.
Got it.
So I had a tablet right in front of me. Notice I could still use my other channels, but this is the audio coming directly from the tablet. So if you have any other ways of getting line inputs into your tablet, for example, whether you're using like an Irig or something like that, you can bring that signal in as well directly to the device that you're using. Or let's say you're using a like a mixer and you want an audio auxiliary output coming to your tablet for a separate audio feed, you can do that as well.
I've actually been using this a lot, the device audio. Like, I didn't think that I would, but I tend to move around when I'm using multicam, whether it's, on a call or I've got my cameras going in Discord or something like that. And so now as I'm moving around, I can switch the cameras and just talk directly into the device, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So again, easy switch. Once that's enabled, it's an option. I can then mute it and turn on another microphone. And again, I'm always going to come back to the Blue Baby bottle. So we have that reference of how different things can sound depending on what your sources are. Okay. Should we stop there?
No.
No. All right. So we're not going to stop there. We're going to add some more inputs. So before I get into the Mevo mic app, which you see there, I want to talk about one other thing over on the music channel. So on this music channel, I have two options for this. So if I go to the cameras, let's see there, and I want to look at the XPR. I want to go into their settings because what I want to do is I want to hook up a USB microphone, right? Because the USB microphones are very popular to use with the Mevos. The Mevos can power using USB microphones, so there's a lot of options there. So you'll notice I have, and you know what? Maybe we can pull up my colored view here so we can see it. So you'll notice, yeah, there you go. I have my Blue Yeti Nano. Okay. This is going directly into the back of my Mevo Start through the line in. I'm sorry, through the USB-C connection. Oh, there you go. If my voice is delayed right here, that's okay. You're still hearing multicam. So now that you see this here, let's go ahead and pull that app up again.
Okay.
If I go into my Mevo settings for that specific camera, and if you take a look up in the corner there, oh wait, I'm on the wrong Mevo. I need to be in XPR. Mevo settings.
Me.
And if I turn on power USB devices, yeah, that'll work, Will. You'll notice that light turns on.
Yeah.
So you can see, if you look at the app, you can see it getting toggled and the light turning on. So this is huge because you used to have to leave the Multicam app, go into the Mevo app, change all of these settings, and then go back into the Multicam app and then reset yourself up.
Right.
But now you could do it all directly from inside the Multicam app.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at how that sounds.
What I really like about USB microphones is because of their budget price point is so good, and they can do a lot in terms of additional software, and it's a good compromise. If you can't spend the money for a really nice XLR, USB mics are a really good way to go. Oh, looks like I can't hear you.
That's okay. What I was
There we
saying was
go.
100%. So if you notice that USB option, it wasn't the same as the line in or the like the Mevo mic apps, right? Those get set from the cogwheel for the channel. When we add the USB device, it actually comes in as a new device and gets its own channel. And the reason for that is because we can still play from one single Mevo. Let's see if we get this playing here.
Which is sick. So if you can see on the screen, he's got both the 3.5 millimeter line input and USB audio on that XPR Mevo.
Exactly. So what you'll see is I'm using the Yeti Nano, which sounds pretty good, to be honest with you, comparatively. And I can control that separately as well. And again, all coming from the same Mevo. So now we have two sources coming from one Mevo at the same time. And if you look at what we've built so far, let's go back to my camera, see if we can open up this view a little bit. It doesn't really do it. We have a USB audio in. We have the baby bottle, which I gotta talk to them about how sensitive these faders are. When you're sliding these back, slide by the names. Like put your thumb on the names and you won't touch the faders as much.
It's a good call.
So we have USB mic, baby bottle XLR, wireless lav, line in music, and my tablet's device audio. All as an option for our feed. All coming to a main fader. So if I want to cut everything off all together,
Super useful. And I want to jump into a couple of things that are being said in chat. First off, Gordon saying this is so much better, major step forward. Absolutely, definitely agree with that. And then Jim says great stuff for a lot of non-softball use cases, incredible stuff. So what's actually really interesting is like that's a pretty common thing for softballs. We'll have people that want to have music coming in, but they also want to capture the voice of the coach or capture the audio from the umpire or even team audio. So it's definitely popular for sports uses that you can take advantage of these audio mixing options.
Yeah, 100% agree. Because you could play with a mixer and create an atmosphere, right? So you could have crowd noise just kind of undertoning into the game, so you hear a little bit more environment. Like you said, you could have the umpire, you could have the dugout, you could have the baseline coaches mic'd up. You can mic up the players with lavs.
That would be awesome.
You could have like they do in the major leagues, right?
Yeah.
So you could definitely expand on this. So why don't we do this? Let's take a look at some questions for a little bit, and then we'll dive into one last aspect of this that I haven't talked about yet.
Sounds good.
So why don't we, let's pull up my colored video again.
Yeah. Boom.
All right. Everything good? You hear me still?
Yep. Solid.
Okay. So, yep. So this is back on the baby bottle, the blue baby bottle. So let's see what we got going on. Nothing in the talk box there.
Let's see. Pastor Ben Beckner, what up, Ben? Says, did you guys coordinate the green backgrounds today? We did. We spend a good 2 hours or so prior to each show just figuring everything out. So it's definitely for better or worse, it's not something that is just like instant. Let's see. Mevo Start supports single cam. Let me see if I can. Is Mevo Start support single cam multicam view via app? So I'm not sure what you're saying here, but you can do a single Mevo Start camera in either multicam or single cam app.
You think he's referring to the static shots?
He could. Oh, that's like the multicam.
Yeah.
If that's your question, unfortunately, no, there are no static shots yet in multicam, but hopefully in the future. All right. Rick says
All
hello
right.
from Kansas. What's up? Oh, here we go. Here's a good audio question
Let's do it.
from
Let's see.
Fender.
Yamaha mixing board. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it. Irig Stream Pro. Okay. iPad. Okay. This is the signal chain. We are using the multicam app for the camera. Keep getting a popping, crackling when we go live. It seems like it will. Seems like it's with the app as we've narrowed down. Maybe wrong. Any help, please? So you're using an Irig. Well, isn't that just a wonderful segue, Will?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up the demo. Let's see if we can recreate this. And let's show you guys how you can use the iRig with the multicam app, and let's avoid any type of popping and clicking.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that when I was in this screen here, there's this little ad on the bottom that tells us about the Mevo mic app. So let me switch back over to those audio, to the multicam audio, and then we'll explore this a little bit.
There we go.
Nice. Okay. So I don't have the iRig Pro, did you say? I do have
Irig Stream Pro, yeah.
iRig Stream Pro. Okay, well, we'll do something similar. So first things first, if you notice, the screen already, it beat me to it. It literally beat me to it. So what I did on my phone, I don't know if you guys could see this. Maybe go to my
Here, I'll show you.
my single there. Yeah, there you go. So this is the Mevo mic app. I have this downloaded on my Samsung Galaxy phone. And yeah, that's good enough. It is a free app that you can download. And you'll notice right away, right when I turned the app on, the multicam app saw the Galaxy S9 Plus. So watch. If I close the app out, give it a second while it catches up, you'll notice it disappears. There you go. Now, when I open the mic up, I just want you to see how fast it finds it. Oh, that's not the right app.
Boom.
Boom.
That's pretty sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take a look at that and expand on it a little bit. I keep using my mouse to scroll on the app in Melon.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Gotta get you
All
an
right.
iPad.
Oop.
So many sources.
There we go. Bring me up a little bit. Okay. So now what you're hearing is the signal coming directly from the Galaxy S9 Plus. Now notice, I didn't have to connect this to a specific Mevo, right? I was able to bring this in to the multicam application, where previously you used to have to go into each specific Mevo and set up each specific Mevo mic app for that Mevo.
Right.
Now you could do it all from here. Additionally, you have another channel. So now, let's go through the list. We have the Mevo mic app. We have USB. We have XLR. We have Lav. We have music. We have device audio. And we have our master output. So, plenty of audio sources to bring into your stream. But Will, do we stop there?
Never.
No.
Never.
We absolutely don't stop there. What we're going to do here is connect an iRig. So let me give you guys a look at what this is doing. Let's go to that colored one again, briefly. So this is the iRig I'm using. This is generally for guitars or line inputs. And it has a TRRS. Let's see if I can give you a better look at that. That has like the 3 rings on it.
Right.
So that's what we'll be using for any type of cell phone connection.
Okay.
Let's go back to the app. Cool. You guys got me? Check one.
Yep.
Great. So you'll notice right now there's no signal coming into the Galaxy S9 Plus yet. But if I plug in, let's say, a keyboard, and
No, not hearing it.
not hearing it. Okay.
Also, Rick, to your question, this is the exact same in iOS as it is in Android.
Yes. Let's try this again. Nothing? Nothing's coming through. No signal. Okay,
Going
so here's
into
what
the
I'm gonna
S9.
do. Yeah, so if you look at the S9 on the application, I am seeing signal. I think this happened to me yesterday. Let me try and reset this up, the mic app. Because once it gets an input, it's thinking something different. So let's see here. Refresh that. So, I have to wait for that to disappear. So this is good. So these are some of the nuances. The app does need to think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for that to leave. Oh, that's it, rotating back again. Because it's closed. Okay.
While you
turn back on.
try and get that going, I'm going to jump into some questions. We've got Stefan saying, I used Multicam this week for an event. Very long questions. For an event with Mevo Start and a Mevo Plus, I set the cameras to record to internal memory cards. So you're doing ISO recording. Nice. All good, dude. At the end, I found the video files were split into many random length and file sizes rather than one continuous file for at least 2 hours each. While the app on my iPhone never switched off, I would occasionally switch to other apps during the recording. Whenever I went back to Multicam, both cameras were still recording, but the files were between 1 minute and 30 minutes long. Yeah, so every time you record using the SD cards, whether it's the single cam app or the multicam app, it will always split up the video files. And the whole point of that is so that if you do a long, like 2 hour recording, that if it gets corrupted at any point, that you don't lose your entire 2 hours, right? So instead, you'll just lose like those 15 minutes that did get corrupt. That being said, because you're using an iOS device, if you leave the app, then it will not do great things for for your recordings or your streams. So in iOS, you always have to stay in the multicam app. If you have Android, you can leave the multicam app. So 2 things: don't leave the app, and it's always going to split. Cool. Thanks for that question. Let me pop up your demo here.
Yep.
Nice.
So I'm back on my, in case you're wondering, Will, if you want to throw this up, I'm using the USB Yeti Nano, the Blue Yeti Nano.
Nice.
Jeez, I am all fumbles today. All right, so what I did was I turned the Mevo mic app off, and then I turned it back on. And then now we should have signal coming in
Nice.
from my keyboard, which is great. So now I'm sending signal from my keyboard into my Galaxy S9 Plus, which is then sending that signal wirelessly to the Mevo Multicam application, where I can mix it in with the rest of my audio. So if you have any type of sound effects, you know, if you want to drop some drums on them,
Nice.
you know, you can absolutely do that, especially with any type of line and input coming into the Galaxy Mevo mic app.
Cool.
Sorry,
So
the Galaxy S9 Plus with the Mevo mic app.
So if you're using the Irig, you can do directly into the device, right? Now you can do device audio, and you can do into Mevo mic. And I would say, in terms of his question with the static he was experiencing, obviously Joseph brings up a good point that you could definitely try either one of these sources for the audio and trying to avoid that static, but also, you know, there's what grounding that could happen, right?
Yeah, if you run into it's a ground loop would be a consistent buzzing that you're hearing that won't go away. no matter what you do. Once you make a connection, you'll hear it, and the only way you don't hear it is when you remove the connection. If you're running to clipping, that's different. So you'll see the red spiking if I get a little bit too loud. Now Melon is handling some of that for us because Melon has auto gain controls to keep whoever the two people talking if they're coming in at different levels to keep that the same. But it's definitely a good call out. If you're clipping, start lowering things on the source first. So if you zero out your settings here, for example, like the S9 Plus is zeroed out. But if I start hitting keys, see how they jump red for a second?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can lower the volume a little bit, if that'll affect it. Let's see. See less red?
Yeah, a little bit.
Drop down a little bit.
There you go.
Right? So, which footage do I want to hear? I don't remember it, Joe. Something like that. But now I'm not peeking into my feed, right? So regardless of, it's still not gonna peak there. So monitoring your input gain control. This is literally what's called gain staging. Whatever your input is, as long as that's at a nice level, and then you can adjust that afterwards. Keep in mind, I can adjust the whole mix with the main output. So if I want to just raise everything, now everything's a little bit louder. Whereas if I want to level that out, right? So now again, we're on the USB microphone, and you do hear some of my room, right?
Right.
So if I were to kick that back over to my baby bottle, this is running through a noise gate. It has a compressor, it has EQ on it, so it's doing a lot to the audio to get rid of that hiss, to get rid of that room noise.
Right.
So you notice that when I'm quiet,
can't hear anything.
It's dead silence.
Yeah.
Right. Where if I'm switching over to my my USB microphone, again, here. Check.
Yep.
Oh, this is my lav.
So many mics.
See? I know.
Now, what I really like about this too is obviously Joseph is showing all of these different audio sources, a lot of mics and everything like that. But this can also be, he was playing the piano. This could be sound effects. Maybe you're doing a podcast and you want to have like a track that is just like clapping, or anything like that. It could be basically any type of audio source.
Exactly. And notice an easy way to tell. This is my USB source. It has a USB icon.
Yep.
Right? So my Galaxy 9 input has a microphone, which is the Mevo mic icon. So if you compare that to like the Mevo mic app. And then you have your line in. So it's an easy way to just recognize what channel you're involved with. And again, this is going to take a little doing. I mean, if you're looking to get deep into audio mixing with your streams, practice, try it out, test it out, decide on which inputs you want to use.
And it's amazing how these tiny little details actually make such a huge impact, right? Like obviously the entire thing is a huge feature improvement to Multicam, but just seeing the little icons is really nice. Having the output out is really nice.
Yep.
Yeah, just these little things that make a big difference to your production.
Yeah, and obviously knowing your sources, right? So what you're hearing right now is the wireless lav. And again, this is streaming wirelessly to that Mevo. So essentially, if you have no power, you can still use a wireless lav, you can still use a Mevo, and you can still do a stream.
Yeah.
So,
USB mic too.
But you'll notice, go ahead.
USB mic too, you've got powered by the Mevo itself, so you could have a Yeti Nano on the go and just use that.
Yeah, 100%. So what's cool about this too is they make like lav, like very expensive like lav systems where you can send multiple, mixes in. So you can actually, if you're doing like a live venue or something like that, this could come in really handy because now you could put the Mevo wherever you want and not have to worry about it, whether or not it's close to the soundboard, whether it's not close to, you know, this input or that output or this outlet or whatever. You can just do it wirelessly and get whatever angle you're looking for your visual.
Yeah, and if you're not doing multiple sources into one Mevo, you could actually just rename that Mevo like USB microphone or lav mic, and that way you can just quickly see that and jump to that audio source, just in case you're not remembering, you know, which one is which.
Yeah. And then of course too, let's say my lav in the middle of my performance or whatever, let's say it dies. Let's say the battery dies, right? So I can always go back in here and I can force those internal microphones. So at least I have a back route.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, back up. In case something should go awry, right? So you always have that option as well. Kicking it back over to the wireless lav.
Very, very nice. Gordon is saying awesome demo, Joseph. Absolutely agree. This is really like, obviously you might not have a production that is this advanced or this complex, but it just is pretty amazing that you can just have all of these different sources going into the single app, and then now obviously you can take the multicam app, you can stream that out. All this audio is going to be in that stream. You can record, all the audio is going to be in the recording, and of course you can send it out to your computer now via wireless webcam.
Yep.
So you're moving all of these audio sources around. And what's really cool is maybe you have all of these audio sources set up, but you're just wanting to use that one Mevo. Like you have just this Mevo that's right in front of you, and you want to be using that camera for your Zoom calls, but you want to have all of these different audio sources. Maybe they're audio sources for presentations, maybe it's for videos that you're going to be playing, whatever it is. You can bring in all of these audio sources and just use that one Mevo if you want.
Yeah, perfect. So last thing I'll say about this is you'll notice that I tried to keep my volume for my sources kind of even throughout this process. And if you look at like my faders, you'll notice they're all at different values, right? Like for example, the JCP's 8.3 decibels, the XPR is 2 decibels. We're at 1.9 on this. If I skip over to my USB, check 1, 2, even that one could probably come up a little bit. So all of this is a variable, and it's up to you to kind of level out your mix and make sure everything's audible, everything sounds great. We got a question from Jarrett, which I want to call out right now. It's at 11:46 on your end, probably.
Okay.
Let's pull that up because it's a good question. It's a YouTube one.
Let's see. Okay, cool. Got it.
Yeah. So what he's saying here is using the 3.5 millimeter jack on one camera and using the built-in room mic on another camera, will there be phase issues, specifically specific settings to look for? Right. There is no phase flip. So yes, there can be phase issues. Now, what phase issues means, and I'll break this down as best I can. Maybe we go to my colored view for this one because this is gonna be a little lengthy.
Sure. Let's see.
All right. You got me? We're good? Okay. So when we're talking phase, okay, what we're talking is when the way sound moves through the air, it moves in waves, right? Now, if you have a signal coming into two different microphones at the same time, they're hitting the microphone capsule at the same time. But if one's going up in phase or down in phase, if they're opposite, what happens is the microphone will actually cancel out. And I could set this up as a really huge demo. Well, maybe we'll do this another time and really explain this. But essentially what's happening is if this wave is hitting the microphone capsule A here, and this wave is hitting microphone capsule B here, you're going to hear a weird, it's hard to describe. We describe it as phasey, but it'll cancel out certain frequencies and certain artifacts. So you'll actually hear a lot thinner of your output audio. So essentially, it's you're going to cancel out certain noise, and it's going to sound terrible. if the way to adjust that is if you move those microphones so that the sound is hitting them at the same point on an upswing or a downswing, regardless of where you're hitting it, and they're in phase, and they'll sound a lot fuller. And I could probably recreate some of that here with these mics, but it'll be hard to hear probably through Melon. Why don't you bring us back, and we'll see if we can give an example of this.
Cool. Go. Oh, let me bring back your feed. There you go.
Oh, that must have been it. There you go. All right, so let's see if I can recreate this. Okay. So if you could see, sort of, I have I'll lower that a little bit. My USB microphone directly in front of me, and it's right next to the blue baby bottle, right? So USB's here. This is here. So now if I'm talking into both, it's already there. You hear that mechanical, fuzzy, weird noise that it's creating as it's blending those two microphones together.
You sound like a
transformer.
transformer.
Now watch this. You sound like a transformer. Perfect. Now let's check this out. Check 1, check 2, check 1, 2, check 1, check 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 2. Less, more. Yeah, so like if we can get the sound to hit the microphones at the same time, it'll kind of eliminate that a little bit.
Interesting.
It's hard to do. This is probably as best as I'm going to get it, like right here.
Honestly, I kind of dig the transformer sound.
It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah. If you see like a guitar pedal board, you'll see something that says phaser. This is what it's doing. But also consider the sources, right? The blue is going through compression and noise gate and stuff like that, so it's a very compressed signal versus like a wide open USB microphone, right? Also, or a wide open internal microphone. Like they're going to sound different too, regardless of what you do as far as placement. So what I would do there is you have to test, move things around, make sure you have everything in the best areas you can for the best sound quality. But that was a great question.
Yeah.
Phase is like a deep level audio problem.
Cool. You want to switch your audio to the other color? Go. Boom.
There we go.
Man, we are just smooth today. I love it. There's a good conversation being had about just where to find music that you can play. Obviously, this is always a big concern when you're doing live streaming because so many services, especially Facebook, will just cut you off and be really kind of like brutal about it. So there's definitely some good ideas in chat. This is a great reason to be over on Twitch, to just be part of this chat. But I will say that it's also a good source to do stream beats. Stream beats is on YouTube. It's on Spotify, and I think some other places too. So check that out. It's royalty free and pretty solid music too. So definitely take a look at that. Bring it back. What's up, man? I'll mute it up. Let me unmute you here. Oh, you got it.
I got it. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a great call out. So what I was using earlier, that was from, I think it was Epidemic Sound, which I think Stream Beats has a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to insult anybody, but it's just a little more modern stuff, I guess. A little more exciting, maybe.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, looking at some stuff we have here, Chris is saying, "Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day." Did you see that one? 11:45. I want to throw this up there just because it has nothing to do with audio, but I love the suggestion and I want to just echo it a little bit. So Chris is saying, "Happy St. Patrick's Day." By the way, Chris, I know you've been waiting for the show. Did we do you right? Did it go well? What do you think? Like, let us know. He said, "Suggestion with the Multicam app, would love the ability to assign or lock graphics to the cameras when you switch." I agree. That's something I've been looking for, and I actually want to take that conversation one step further and be able to assign audio inputs as well. Because how cool would it be if you had two people laved up, and then when it goes to each shot, if you're going back and forth, it goes to that person's specific audio immediately. That would be kind of fun too. So so there's definitely ways we could expand this more. But I gotta say, like, this audio mixer is a huge like game changer for multicam.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know that you've been waiting for this. Yeah, wow. Just burned through the show. Yeah, I know you've been waiting for this audio mixer update for a very long time.
Yeah, I've been chomping at the bit for this one. And I got to say, shout out to the Mevo team. I know they're all going through a lot right now. They're phenomenal. They crushed it with this update, and I can't give them enough props. Shout out to the Melon team, because it's been fantastic today, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So as we do these shows, and as we get more into what's coming out, what's new, and what we're doing, and expanding and building, it's just awesome to see everything working the way we want it to work. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Dave is saying these updates are awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Been a Mevo user for 18 months, and these audio updates just open up so many more options. Yeah, man. It is fantastic. Really props to everybody.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for your sentiments. We appreciate it. All right, Will, housekeeping?
Yeah. So if you missed the beginning of the show, we always want to kind of go over the basics, but also very important things, which is first our schedule. We are live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesday is Ask Me About Anything, where we're answering as many questions as possible. Thursdays, as you saw, we try and do kind of more of a deep dive on specific topics and focus the show a little bit more. But we also try and answer your questions. So you do want to be at both shows. And of course, you can find us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But we do recommend Twitch or YouTube, specifically Twitch, if you want really the best quality show. And then, of course, we are doing multicam all month long. Next Thursday, we're going to be talking about multicam to Streamlabs, and I promise you I will do some really overly advanced demos. And then on the 31st, we're going to do a really fun special show. If you were around for our Christmas show, it's going to be the same kind of vibe. It'll be really, really fun. So definitely you don't want to miss that. And then, as always, we want you to be a tester. We really trust you guys because you guys are really kind of like our core audience for these kinds of products. You know, your streamers, your content creators, and we want to build products that you are going to be into, that you're going to want to use, that you're going to enjoy. And so by doing this testing, you get a chance to give your feedback on these products and test stuff way before it gets released. So it's pretty exciting. If you can just copy that link down, it'll be in the description on YouTube, or just screenshot the screen. Cool.
Man, I can't wait for your overly complicated Streamlabs demo.
Me too. I always love those. Those are my favorite demos. Is when I just do
so
it
excited.
Completely extreme.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, looks like we have hit the time, man. Just flies by, man. Flies by.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We definitely appreciate it. If we didn't get to your questions, come back on Tuesday. We're doing an AMA on Tuesday where we won't be, doing all these demos, but we'll be there to answer any questions. So if you want to rewatch the show from today, you come up with some questions, bring them on Tuesday. We'll make sure we'll get those answered for you.
Yep, definitely. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. As always, head over to help.mevo.com if you want to open up a ticket, and we will see you on Tuesday. Thanks for joining us.